video is about life in general. Of course, it's pertaining to relationships. We're going to deal with time. We're talking about a 24-hour lifespan. When I say 24-hour lifespan, I want to talk about where we spend our time every day. And the day adds up to a week, and the week adds up to a month, and the month leads into years. So when we get 65, 72, 81 years old, when we get into the latter part of our lives as seniors, we try to wonder sometimes, where did all the time go? So when you look at the clock, just for in the 24-hour cycle, the average work day is 10 hours. That leaves us 14 hours left in the day. We had to go to sleep 8 hours to get up to do the 10. So 10 and 8, of course, is 18. That leaves us 6 hours. If you get up in the morning and prepare to go to work, it usually takes an hour to prepare to get ready or an hour to get to work and get ready, total. So we just lost another hour. And then usually the commute home is another hour. So all in all right there, that's 20 hours total. So that leaves you about 4 hours to live your life in that 24-hour cycle for that day. If you continue this pattern for 30 or 40 years, starting in your 20s, when you get to be 65 or 70, you will realize that you have worked your life away. So when it comes to relationships, the ball is in your court and you have the power. So with that 4 hours, if you navigate going to school to get education, or if you want to get your PhD or your master's degree, your graduate degrees, it's going to be even less time that you'll have living your life, because you got to spend more of that time engaging in school after work or school total, which is going to give you a 24-hour cycle. So you live less life. If you have children and you work and you're trying to obtain a degree, and then the children are probably going to be in some kind of soccer, kickball, gymnastics, bowling, baseball, whatever have you. When you engage into a life like that, when you spend that much time preparing in a 24-hour cycle and not understanding that this is going to be a perpetuated cycle that's going to be repeated for many years to come. So when I get the calls and I talk to the men and the women and they've lived their life on that 24-hour life cycle, and then they want to step back and they wonder where all the time went. When you spend your time honing certain skills, if it's with the children or if it's in your current marriage or in your current relationship or it's at the job getting that education, when you hone in those skills, you're going to be good at that thing. So when somebody gets into their 40s and gets into their 50s, you have no skills when it comes to relationships if that's not what you were doing previously in the past years. You're going to be good at engineering, or you're going to be good at mathematics, or you're going to be good at social work, or you're going to be good in the sciences. Whatever skills that you hone, if that was your role, was education. If your role was working, if you had 2 jobs, you honed your skills at making money and probably saving money. So when you hone the skills in that and you get to your 40s and 50s, you probably won't have that skill set for relationships. So when I take the calls, what I have to remind people of is where you spent that 24-hour life cycle, that lifespan, that's where you're going to have your skill set. So now you're talking about merging that with a mature person, if it could be the later 30s and on. These people are pretty much set in their ways, and you're going to have to find a way to connect with them and make it work for you as well as your spouse. So when you look at that clock, be careful where you spend that 24 hours. Because in relationships, you're going to find that all of those things, after you get it done, after you go through it, it's very good to want it, but will you want it after you get it? We're put here to be social creatures. That's who we are as human beings. There's nothing wrong with working. There's nothing wrong with 2 jobs. There's nothing wrong with higher education. There's nothing wrong with a graduate degree. There's nothing wrong with indulging your children in their activities after school. But just be careful where you spend that 24-hour cycle, because your children are going to grow up and eventually you're going to retire. And then you're going to want to spend that time with somebody that's significant. So I want you to hone those skills and put it all in perspective and understand that it's a 24-hour lifespan. It's a 24-hour clock, and it will perpetuate itself into 30 to 40 years. We want you to take this information, try this information, take it to the barbershop, take it to the job, take it to the hair salon. You take it anywhere that you can have this discussion and use it as a resource and try to grow this. So if you come up with some information, we'd like for you to drop us a like, a comment, and share whatever information you guys have to help us grow this thing. Let's cultivate it. Thank you. This is the Clipperdome Chronicles.